guys, welcome back to another video of Navigating the Mats. My name is Chaz. Today's something that's really important, I think, is how do we have an open mind for Jiu-Jitsu? This is really, I think, an important topic to really talk about because there is so much I see out online on social media of like people sharing techniques, and there's a lot out there that you have to understand of like Jiu-Jitsu is like an art, or it is an art at the end of the day. And how do we look at Jiu-Jitsu and say what is right, what is wrong? Okay? Whenever you look at like an artist painting a picture, there's no right or wrong way that they do something, right? I have seen so many techniques over the last 13 years of me training taught. And I have seen them taught several different ways with several different details. And you're going to see that all through your jiu-jitsu career, your jiu-jitsu journey of same techniques taught different ways, different details, different angles, different sizes, different shapes of people. And the biggest thing is like have an open mind, okay? In my opinion, there are very few things in jiu-jitsu that is like dead set all of how you have to do something. And I mean very few things. Right? I think one of the biggest things that I come across as a coach, as an instructor, is I will show something and then like a student will say, well, Professor so-and-so or Coach so-and-so taught it this way. Okay. That's how they taught it. And that's perfectly fine. If that is how they do that technique, that is totally fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just another way. Whenever I teach something, I like to remind students, I'm like, this is not the way to do it. This is a way to do it. And if you find a way that works for you, do it. Until it starts getting shut down and it's not working for some reason, then it's just a way to do it, you know? And I think a lot of people will kind of take one thing and be like, this is the way you have to do this. For example, there is a ton of different ways you can do an armbar from the closed guard. There's not like the definite way to do an armbar. There is a million different grip combinations you can make. They're all right. You have to figure out what works for you and what grip combinations you want to use and what way you want to do. And I think that, like I said, people get very stuck on that. So have an open mind. Like, just because it was taught one way doesn't mean that that is the way to do it, right? Now, you might find that the way that you've seen before is your way of doing it, you know, but have an open mind of, like, if another instructor teaches the same technique and they do it a little bit differently, try it. See if it works. If you don't like it, that's okay. Just remember those details because you might need them later. You never know. Now, having an open mind, so going back to what I said in the beginning of the video of like there's a lot of things out there on social media that I see of like somebody will show something and then you go to the comments section and that's not how you do it, that doesn't work. And in my opinion, it's like I've seen things out there that I use personally that is a staple in my jiu-jitsu game that people are like, that doesn't work. And I'm like, oh no, I do it all the time. That definitely works. And I get people that will send me things on social media and they will ask, what do you think about this? Now, anytime that somebody will send me something, if that person does a really crazy, you know, kind of like flashy technique, and then right afterwards of them like demonstrating the technique, and then they have like live competition footage of them doing it, obviously they've drilled that technique enough and know right when to hit it at the perfect timing, and it works. Hey, good on them. They showed that it works and it's battle tested. I'm not gonna say anything bad about that. Hey, if you want to learn how to do that, practice it, drill it, go for it. It's not my style. Maybe I do like it. I don't know. But I think that is what I look at. What I really will also look at with a lot of social media jiu-jitsu videos is what is the other person doing. Jiu-jitsu is action reaction. If you have somebody, and this is just my opinion, if you have somebody that's just laying there and they're not reacting at all, and they're not doing anything, and the other person is just doing a bunch of crazy spinning and rolling and all this like crazy stuff. Like, it looks cool on social media, absolutely, but if the other person's not doing anything and there's like, I don't even want to say resistance, but if there's no reaction to them doing something, then I probably won't believe it. It's not that I don't want to say I don't believe it, but it's for a reason that it's working so well, right? Now, if you send me a video and it's somebody doing an hey, I do this when they do this, and I get this reaction off of it, and this is the technique I do. Hey, that makes sense. They're painting that picture of, I set it up with this. This is the reaction they're giving me, so then I do this. That makes 100% sense to me, and that's when I look at those videos. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. It's not bad. And that's how I look at it. But a lot of like the flashy stuff, yeah, it looks cool. It looks fun, but in my opinion, it's just not really worth diving too much into. Jiu-Jitsu is supposed to be using the least amount of energy with the most effective technique, and that's it. So when you have an open mind for jiu-jitsu, you kind of just look at everything, right? I mean, I'm not opposed to looking at like the flashy rolling berimbolo, to the back take, to the arm bar, to the mount, to the choke, back to the omoplata. I'm not opposed to like looking at that, because the way that I look at those videos though is how are they flowing into each of these techniques, and like how are they getting into these, because that still is skill. It does take technique, still takes drilling it out to get it down. So that's how I have an open mind for those videos. When I watch something, I don't ever want to say that I disagree with techniques unless like I know that there's some details missing or some details are wrong. I look at that and I'm just like, I think I do it this way for this reason. But at the same time, I will ask the instructor of like, hey, I do it this way. Are you worried about them doing this? And then I kind of just like dive into what they say and see if like, yeah, well, when they do this, maybe this is how I react. Okay, that's fine. But I never really like to look at a technique and go, that doesn't work. I don't believe that what you're teaching is incorrect. Because maybe it's not the way that I do it. But if it works for them, then it's not incorrect at all. So that's how I kind of look at that. So these are just some different ways you can have an open mind for jiu-jitsu. Just kind of look at everything and take the details that work for you, and don't disregard everything else, because those might be details that you need later. There's a million different ways out there to do different techniques, and you just got to find what works for you. But even if you find a technique and details that work for you and you see it a different way done, don't disregard it. It's still good. It's still there, and you might need it for if you ever need to show somebody else with a different body type later down the road. You might need those details. So always, try to pick up as much as you can. Use what works for you, and just kind of put on the shelf what doesn't work for you but might work for somebody else. So that's my best advice for having an open mind for jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is a beautiful thing, and we're blessed to do it all the time. So try to just be, an open notebook and try to suck up as much as you can like a sponge. And enjoy it, and that's really it. So I hope this helps for having an open mind when you go into train, when you are watching techniques, when you're watching things on the interwebs, and when you're watching things in classes, seminars, all that stuff. Just be a sponge and try to soak it all in. So I hope this helps. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave them down in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next video. Thank you so much for watching.